Hey there guys, and welcome to FP1, and now let's sit down and talk about that Bahrain Grand Prix. Lots to talk about here. I'm going to jump straight in with it. We've got to speak about that first lap accident with Romain Grosjean. I tell you what, I watched that and my heart stopped. Honestly, I'm so glad that as of the knowledge and the news that we have right now, I'm filming this on the podium. The knowledge that I have right now is that Romain is okay. He's obviously out of the car, he's in hospital with a suspected broken rib, which frankly could have been a lot worse. So, it was frightening, and it took me a while to get over that. I was even contemplating whether I want to make a video today, but you know what? Fair play to all the marshals and everyone that came onto the scene, the first responders. It's good to see that everyone has learned from the mistakes of the past. You know, I'm thinking of Japan 2014 and another instance like that, and just the fact that I think there's no debate anymore with the Halo. The Halo saved a life today. There have been a few cases. I'm thinking, 2018 Spa was the first big case where it was a little bit questionable. And I'll admit, that the Halo has never been. I've not always been fond of the Halo, but there's no debate anymore. That has saved Romain Grosjean's life, and frankly, I think we've witnessed a miracle this weekend, and we should be, so thankful that no one was hurt. Not just Grosjean as well, but the marshals on the side of the track as well. It was a frightening accident. But once the race did get underway, there is quite a lot of things to talk about. Let's start with the other incident, the other big incident of the race, Lance Stroll and Danny Kvyat. Again, Kvyat getting involved in that lap 1 accident after the start. With Grosjean, it wasn't his fault at all. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. With the Stroll one, it was a bit of an audacious move. I think Stroll could have left him a little bit more space. But really, I've got to give it to Kvyat in terms of the fault on that one. I think 70-30, Kvyat Stroll. Did get the 10-second penalty, which I think was pretty fair. We don't see cars flip. I mean, Bahrain, we see it quite a lot. But in general, we don't like to see cars flipped over, and we don't see it very often in Formula 1. So when it did cut to Stroll upside down, I was like, blimey, Jesus, not again. But thankfully, he as well was okay. I'll tell you what, Stroll, he's at the worst of the last couple of weekends. Obviously getting that pole, and then strategy didn't favour him, and he fell behind with the damage supposedly to his front wing in Turkey. He's had some big crashes, and thinking in Mugello and in Portimao as well. It's just not gone his way, when really I think this has been his standout year. And as someone who is, I will hold my hands up and has slagged off Stroll a lot in the past, even I'm saying it. So I do hope Stroll can bring it back, get a good result in by the end of the year. But really not great for Racing Point today. Perez obviously going out with 3 laps to go as well. And when they're fighting for third, they had, I think, just before Perez went out, they would have lost 1 point to McLaren. McLaren had a brilliant weekend, having looked like they were the underdogs really for third place. And they've got, P4 and P5, I think, at the end of it, or P5, P6, something like that. Anyway, they've got 22 points over Racing Point. I believe that moves them into third now. And, I'll tell you what, that's going to be hard to bring back. It's going to take another Bahrain-esque weekend with a really good result from either Renault or Race Point, or maybe Ferrari as well. We can't count them out. But it's looking like it's McLaren's to lose after this weekend, which is not what I expected to be saying today. Now, usually this is the point in the video where I can slag off Alex Albon or something like that, but I can't today because Albon did all right. I tell you what, you can go back through these videos. I've been pretty harsh on Albon, and I'm not gonna deny that. And usually when I see a good result like this, I do look at it and think, is Albon driving well, or is he just driving slightly less shit than he usually is? And we've got to look at that. But genuinely, I think this weekend he was so much closer to Max. I think in Mugello, when he got that first podium, he did get it as a result of the plentiful instance that happened. And yes, he was gifted it due to Perez today, but he was so much closer to Max, not over the race, but over qualifying and the whole weekend in general. And especially qualifying, because that's really been Albon's issue, I think, especially over this year. He's just been nowhere in comparison to Verstappen, and that really improved this weekend, which was really nice to see. And I think it's been steadily improving since Imola. Now, I think Crofty or Brandon, one of the commentators, said it as the cars pulled up in Parc Ferme. Could that Racing Point engine failure just have ended Sergio Perez's chance to get in that Red Bull next year? Because not only is that taking him out of the points for the first time, I think he scored in every single race he's competed in apart from this weekend, not only that, is you've now allowed Alex Albon onto the podium, hopefully a chance for him to build up his confidence again. And you never know. You never know. I feel like Red Bull have really been giving Albon every single chance. In Turkey, I was thinking maybe he could keep this seat. And now, looking at his overall persona, he seems a lot more happy, a lot more confident. If you go back through the interviews, especially back in the 7th anniversary Grand Prix in Silverstone and Spain, he was so down, he was so negative. That really seems to have changed coming into the last few Grand Prix, and you can see his persona just driving on track have already improved. So, fair play to Alex today. Fair play to Alex. And I think if this can continue for the rest of the year, 2 races to go, if he can get solid results like this, he'll be in that seat next year. Now, Alex, of course, was good, but we've got to move to the new Alex Albon. Of course, being Valtteri Bottas. Because I think, you see, there's shit. Then there's Mahavir Raghunathan. And then there's Valtteri Bottas. Because, I'll tell you what, 6 spins. I don't think he's maybe quite topped his 6 spins from 2 weeks ago in Turkey. But this weekend was just... I mean, you're in the fastest car, not just on the grid this year, but the fastest car in Formula 1 history. And he sat there struggling to get past Kimi Raikkonen with a broken front wing in an Alfa Romeo. Now, come on. At this point, I mean, I literally said it 2 rounds into the season when it was announced that Bottas's contract was probably going to be extended. I made a video before I started to try and be funny on this channel. I made a video and I said that, look, this is the point where... really, I mean, every time Bottas's contract is renewed, he just falls off the pace, and it's happened this year. He won the first race of the season. I think a lot of us forget that. This was the year where it was going to look like Bottas was going to take the fight to Hamilton, and it's just been a joke since round 3 or round 4. He's won 2 races this year. Hamilton has been in a world class. We can't take that away from Lewis, but Bottas has put up one of the worst fights I think I've seen in his time at Mercedes, which really is a shame. And the fact that this is going to continue into next year as well, it's not a particularly good sign for 2021. But that said, we've had a really good season, I think, this year so far, and we shouldn't take away from that. But the fight at the front has been a little bit one-sided, shall we say, and Bottas hasn't been helping that. So, yeah, Bottas, I think he's becoming the new Albon. I think I can replace my slating Albon section with slating Bottas. I couldn't even really slate Ocon this weekend. He's the other driver I usually go for, but I can't because... he's not been too bad either at the end of the day. Ocon, I think he was a lot closer to Ricciardo this weekend, especially in qualifying, where Ricciardo's beaten him 14 races at 14 races, but I think the margins were so tight. I can't remember the exact difference, but it was so close with Ocon today. So maybe he's another driver that can take it in to these next few rounds as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still, you can tell the video's a little bit more subdued than it normally is. There's not quite as many rubbish jokes, but I'm still, I think, a little bit affected by that lap 1 accident, and yeah, just want to really be mindful of that. And obviously, Grosjean, it's great to see him get driver of the day as well. I think, he's absolutely smashed it. This was actually the point where I was going to announce a brand new thing on the channel, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to leave that for another video, just because I don't think it's the right time, really. But there'll be news coming. That's what I'll say. So stay tuned for that one, guys. I just want to thank you all for the amazing support on the channel as well recently. It has been, honestly, brilliant to watch, and someone who's been on this channel now for 7-8 years, it's great to see things moving up, and I'm just thankful for every single one of you that has subscribed. I think it's really a dream come true over what's been quite a difficult year for I think everybody. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy the video. Do leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. And of course our thoughts do go out to Romain Grosjean. Hope that he does make a speedy recovery. I will be back later in the week with the Post Podium podcast, but until then, hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you all in the next one.